You kicked one leg out from under the blanket, and you're still awake. Your body isn't failing to sleep. It's reading the room: temperature, light, sound, air, and waiting for all of it to signal that you're safe. And here's the strange part. The warm, cozy room you made for comfort may be the very thing keeping your brain on guard. Welcome to Sleepy Science. Tonight, we're not going to force sleep. We're going to listen to what your room has been quietly saying all along, and learn, gently, how to let it say you're safe. Feel the sheets against your skin, the air on your face. Wrapped in that warmth, your body is deciding whether it's safe to let go. So let's start where your body starts, with the warmth itself, and the slow drop in temperature that sleep has been waiting for. Deep inside your body, a quiet change has to happen before sleep can come. Your core temperature, the warmth held in your chest and belly, has to fall by about 2 degrees Fahrenheit. That is roughly the difference between a warm room and a cool one. This small drop is the master switch for sleep. Your brain watches for it and waits. When the number starts to slide down, the brain reads it as a signal that the day is truly over. So here is the question we will follow tonight. Softly. What is your bedroom quietly telling your body that keeps this gentle cooling from ever beginning? Your temperature is not the same all day long. It rises and falls on a steady 24-hour rhythm, like a slow tide moving in and out. In the early evening, your body runs its warmest. Then, hour by hour, it begins to cool. It reaches its lowest point in the deep dark, often around 4 or 5 in the morning, when your core can dip near 97 degrees Fahrenheit. This rhythm has kept time inside you since before you were born. It does not need a clock on the wall. Your body carries its own quiet clock, and it has been preparing you for rest long before you thought about sleep. For a long time, people thought the body simply cooled because it was resting. The truth is gentler and more interesting. The cooling is not an accident of lying still. It is a message. As your core temperature falls, your brain treats that fall as permission to let go. The drop and the drowsiness arrive together, hand in hand. One does not merely follow the other. They belong to the same quiet event. Think of it like a light slowly dimming in a room, telling everyone the evening has come. Your falling warmth is that dimming light, spoken in the language of the body, gently inviting sleep to step a little closer. You might wonder where all that warmth actually goes. It leaves through your skin, and mostly through the parts farthest from your heart, your hands and your feet. These are the body's release valves. Blood carries heat from your warm core out to the surface, where it drifts away into the cooler air around you. Your palms and soles have special blood vessels built for exactly this task. When they open, warmth pours out like heat rising off a road at dusk. This is how the core cools itself. Not by turning cold inside, but by sending its heat outward, quietly and steadily, all the way to the very edges of you. Here is something many people don't expect. Warm hands and warm feet are one of the clearest signs that sleep is near. When your fingers and toes grow toasty in bed, it means your body has opened its vessels and is shedding heat from the core. Studies of sleep have found that people with warmer feet tend to drift off faster. The warmth at your edges is not keeping you awake. It is the sign your center is cooling down. So if your feet feel cozy under the covers, take it as good news. Your body is doing exactly what it needs to do to carry you gently toward rest tonight. The way your body releases heat is quietly clever. Tiny blood vessels near the skin of your hands and feet can widen, opening like small gates. Scientists call this vasodilation, but the picture is simple. Wider vessels let more warm blood flow close to the surface, where the heat can slip away. It is a little like opening the windows of a warm house on a summer evening, letting the cool in and the heat out. Your body does this without any effort from you. As bedtime nears, those gates swing open on their own, and the warmth you carried all day begins to drift off into the quiet air. Somewhere deep in your brain sits a tiny thermostat. It rests in a region called the hypothalamus, no larger than an almond, yet it watches over the warmth of your whole body. This small controller sets your target temperature and adjusts it through the day. As night comes, it gently lowers the setting, the way you might turn down a dial before bed. Then it sends quiet orders out to your skin and vessels to release heat. You never feel it working. It asks nothing of you. This almond-sized guardian has been managing your inner weather every hour of your life, keeping your warmth steady by day and easing it downward by night. As evening settles, your body releases a small chemical messenger that helps you cool. Its job here is simple. It nudges the vessels in your hands and feet to open, so heat can leave. This is one of the quiet ways your core temperature begins its nightly fall. The messenger rises slowly in the dark hours and fades again by morning. You cannot feel it moving through you, yet it gently tips your body toward rest. Think of it as a soft hand lowering the setting while you are not looking, long before you feel sleepy. This small signal has already begun preparing your warmth to drop, smoothing the path down into sleep. There is a gentle paradox hidden in all of this. To cool its core, your body has to first make its surface warmer. The center cannot drop unless the edges heat up and release. So the warmth you feel spreading into your hands and feet is not the opposite of cooling. It is the method of it. Scientists measure this by comparing the skin at your center with the skin at your hands. The wider that gap grows, the closer sleep tends to be. It seems backward at first, like cracking a window to warm a room. Yet this is the body's honest arithmetic. Heat has to move outward and away before the deep inner cooling can truly begin. This is why cold feet can quietly keep you awake. When your feet are chilled, the vessels there tighten and close, trapping heat inside your core. The center stays warm, the master switch never flips, and sleep keeps its distance. Many people who lie awake with icy toes are fighting this very knot. The fix is soft. Warm the feet, and the gates reopen, letting the core cool at last. So the question we started with begins to turn. Perhaps your body was never refusing sleep. Perhaps it was only waiting for one small signal, a way to let its warmth go, that the room around you was quietly holding back. For some people, wearing socks to bed is a small kindness that works. It sounds odd, since we link cool rooms with good sleep. But warm socks do not heat your core. They warm your feet. And warm feet open the vessels that let your core cool. Research has shown that some sleepers fall asleep faster and wake less often when their feet are kept cozy. It will not suit everyone, and that is perfectly fine. If your feet run cold at night, a soft pair of socks may be the gentle nudge your body needs. The goal is never to trap heat, only to coax your edges into opening the door for it. A warm bath before bed carries a hidden gift. While you soak, your skin heats and your vessels swing wide open. When you step out, all those open vessels release heat quickly into the cooler air, and your core temperature drops lower than before you began. The warm water, oddly, helps you cool down. This is why a bath can leave you pleasantly sleepy about an hour later. It is a bit like warming your hands by a fire, then feeling how cool the evening seems once you step away. The bath does not fight your body's rhythm. It works with it, giving your inner cooling a gentle head start toward sleep. The timing of that warm bath matters more than the heat of it. Studies of sleep suggest the sweet spot is around 90 minutes before you lie down, about the length of one long film's first half. That window gives your body time to warm, then cool below where it started. Bathe too close to bedtime, and you may still feel too warm to settle. Give it that gentle hour and a half, and the cooling lands just as you slip beneath the covers. There is no need to measure it exactly. Your body is forgiving. It simply likes a little runway between the warmth of the water and the quiet of the pillow. Once you are asleep, your body still guards its warmth with care. It holds your core within a narrow, comfortable band, adjusting all night without waking you. If you grow too warm, it opens more vessels and may push a foot out from under the blanket. If you grow too cool, it draws heat back toward the center. This quiet balancing act runs for hours while you rest. It is a little like a careful hand on a dial, easing it one way, then the other to hold a steady room. You never notice the work. Yet through the whole night, your body keeps tending its inner weather, holding you in the gentle range where deep sleep can continue. A room that is too warm can quietly block all of this. Your body cools by sending heat into the air around you. But if the air is already warm, that heat has nowhere to go. The vessels open, the skin flushes, and still the core cannot drop. This is why a hot bedroom often leaves you tossing, kicking off covers, unable to settle. Sleep scientists often point to a cooler room, not a cold one, as an easier place for the body to release its warmth. You do not have to make the room cold. You only have to leave your body a little space to breathe out the heat it needs to lose. Thick blankets can hold you in a warm embrace, and sometimes that embrace runs too hot. Heavy bedding traps the heat rising off your skin, keeping it close instead of letting it drift away. When that happens, your core struggles to reach its lower nighttime setting. You may wake in the small hours feeling flushed, or slide a leg out into the cooler air without knowing why. That small motion is wisdom, not restlessness. Your body reaching for a way to cool. The answer is not to shiver, but to choose bedding light enough to let heat escape. Warmth should feel like comfort, never like a lid pressed down over your inner cooling. Some people love the calm weight of a heavy blanket, and there is nothing wrong with that. Weight and warmth, though, are two different things. A blanket can feel comforting and still let heat pass through, if it is made to breathe. The trouble comes only when bedding seals warmth in and gives it no way out. Natural. Airy fabrics let your skin release heat while still feeling soft and secure around you. So you need not give up the cozy feeling you like. You only want the warmth to keep moving, not to gather and pool. The goal is a bed that holds you gently while quietly letting your body shed the day's heat. Researchers have found a quiet clue that can almost predict sleep. They measure the warmth at your center and compare it with the warmth at your hands and feet. As the edges grow warmer than the core, the gap between them widens, and sleep tends to arrive soon after. This gap is one of the best early signs that the body is ready to rest. It shifts before your eyes grow heavy, before you feel drowsy at all. In a way, your hands and feet announce sleep before your mind does. Long before you notice the pull of tiredness, your body has already begun writing the first soft line of the night's story. A newborn cannot manage its own warmth the way you can. Babies have not yet learned to open and close their vessels smoothly, so they rely on gentle help to cool and settle. This is part of why a slightly cool room and light, breathable wrapping help infants sleep. Their tiny bodies lose and gain heat far faster than ours, the way a small cup of tea cools quicker than a large pot. Parents often learn this by feel, warming cold little feet or loosening a too snug blanket. It is the same thermal dance you do each night, only just beginning. From our very first days, warmth and its quiet release are woven into how we rest. As we grow older, the body's temperature rhythm softens and flattens. The evening warmth is not quite as high, and the nighttime cooling is not quite as deep. With a smaller drop to signal sleep, rest can grow lighter and easier to break. This is one gentle reason many older adults wake more often in the night. It is not a failing. It is simply the rhythm growing quieter with the years, like a tide that no longer reaches quite as far up the shore. Knowing this can bring a little peace. A cooler room, warm feet, and a light cover can help the body find the drop it once made so easily. Through the night, your temperature keeps drifting slowly downward. It does not fall all at once, but eases lower hour by hour, reaching its coldest point in the last dark stretch before dawn. This is often why the early morning feels so still and cool, and why a blanket feels most welcome then. Your deepest, most restful sleep tends to gather around this cooling low. The body sinks toward it the way a stone settles to the bottom of a calm pond, unhurried and sure. Even in the quietest hours, when nothing seems to move, your warmth is still gently falling, carrying you deeper into the safest, most restoring part of the night. Just before you wake, something quiet begins to change. About an hour before your usual waking time, your core temperature starts to climb again. This gentle warming is part of how your body prepares to greet the day, even while you still sleep. It is a soft internal sunrise, rising before the real one. By the time your eyes open, your warmth has already begun its return. You did not decide it, and you never felt it start. Your body simply knows the shape of your days and warms itself ahead of you, the way a house grows cozy before you rise. Waking, it turns out, begins long before you are awake to notice. The things you do in the evening can nudge your temperature up or down. Hard exercise heats your core, and it can take a while for that warmth to fade. A large, heavy meal does something similar, since digesting food gently raises your inner heat. This is one soft reason that late workouts or big late dinners can make sleep slower to come. There is no need for strict rules here. A gentle walk, a lighter evening meal, and a little time to cool are often enough. The body only asks for a chance to lower its warmth before bed. Give it that quiet space, and the master switch has room to slide down on its own. When you are unwell, you often feel heavy with sleep, and warmth is part of why. During illness, the body may raise its temperature to help fight what troubles it, and that same process can pull you toward rest. Sleep becomes a kind of shelter, a place where the body can quietly do its repair work. This is why a feverish evening so often ends in deep, sudden drowsiness. Your body is choosing rest on purpose, using warmth as both a tool and a signal. It is a soft reminder that temperature and sleep are old partners, working together far below your awareness, tending to you even when you feel your worst. Step back now and see the pattern these hours have traced. Again and again, sleep has turned on a single quiet thing: the freedom of your body to let its warmth go. Warm hands, open vessels, a cool room, a light cover. All of them serve that one gentle release. The question we began with looks different now. Your bedroom was never simply a place. It has been speaking to your body all along, in the language of heat. Yet warmth is only the first of its hidden signals. As the night deepens, another quiet message waits in the room, one carried not by heat, but by light. And that is where we turn next. The hidden signals so far have been about warmth, and softer ones are waiting ahead. If this quiet space brings you comfort, a gentle subscribe helps another restless mind find it too. Now, let your breath slow with us, one sleepy soul at a time. Right now, at the very edges of you, warmth is quietly leaving. Your hands, your feet, they are doing the work we just described. Opening, releasing, letting the day's heat drift out into the dark. You do not have to help. It is already happening. The cooling you have been hearing about is not somewhere else. It is here, in your own skin, in this exact breath. The switch we spoke of is not something you have to find and press. Your body has been reaching for it since the moment you lay down. Let the heat go. Let your center soften and fall. And as it does, notice how the room itself begins to change. How what your body needs next is no longer only warmth, but something the darkness is about to offer. Let your breath slow. The night is turning toward its next quiet signal. The eye does two jobs at once, and only one of them is seeing. Behind the cells that build a picture sits a small group that does something simpler. They measure how much light is around and report it straight to the brain's inner clock. These cells were only understood clearly about 20 years ago. They are so single-minded that even some people who are fully blind still have them working. Their body clock quietly tracking day and night through eyes that see nothing at all. Your bedroom light, then, is never only for your vision. It is a message, read by a part of you that keeps time. It isn't the brightness that carries the real message. It's the color. Those clock-reading cells care most about one narrow slice of the spectrum, the way an old radio picks up a single station clearly and leaves the rest as static. A dim blue-white glow can speak louder to your inner clock than a warmer light that looks brighter to your eyes. So two lamps can seem equally bright, yet tell your brain completely different stories about what time it is. This is why a room can feel calm and still keep you awake. What your body reads at night isn't how much light there is. It's what kind of light. Deep in that spectrum, one color does most of the talking. A blue cyan close to the shade of a clear midday sky. The clock cells are tuned to it, most sensitive to wavelengths the sky is full of when the sun rides high. For millions of years, the blue meant one plain thing: daytime, stay awake. Your brain still reads it exactly that way. It has no idea the blue now comes from a bulb or a screen instead of the open sky. So when that particular color reaches your eyes at night, an old and honest part of you simply assumes the sun is somehow still up. Picture two light bulbs on a hardware store shelf, both labeled white. One reads 6500 Kelvin, a cool daylight white. The other reads 3000 Kelvin, a soft, warm white. That number, the color temperature, is just a way of saying how blue or how orange a light leans. Midday sun sits up near 6500. A candle flame sits far lower, around 1800. deep in the warm range, and a sunset lands somewhere between. So when you pick a bulb, you're not only choosing how bright the room gets, you're quietly choosing which time of day your bedroom will pretend to be. Here is what that blue rich light actually does once your clock reads it. As evening comes, the body normally starts releasing a hormone that eases you towards sleep, the way a house slowly dims its rooms before everyone turns in. Cool, bright, bluish light tells the clock to hold that process back, to keep the house lit a while longer. Warm, low light simply lets it go ahead. We won't linger on the chemistry tonight, because the plain part is enough. The color of your evening light either gives your body permission to wind down, or gently asks it to wait. You might expect it would take a bright room to matter, yet the threshold is lower than you would think. Your clock-reading cells are sensitive by design, built to notice the faint difference between dusk and full dark. A light level far below what you'd need to read comfortably can still register as not night yet. Think of the pale wash from a distant street lamp slipping past the curtains, or the soft shine of a hallway light left on for the children. To your eyes, it seems like almost nothing. To the quiet part, keeping time, even that gentle glow can count as a small vote for staying awake. Now bring a screen into the picture. A phone or tablet held close in a dark room. These give off light that leans blue. And, more than that, you hold them right up near your face. A ceiling lamp hangs meters away. A phone sits an arm's length or less, filling much of what your eyes take in. It isn't that the screen is harmful, or that you've done anything wrong. It's simply a small, bright patch of near daylight, arriving at the very hour your body was preparing for dark. The mismatch lives in the timing, not in you. Think of the humble light bulb and how quietly it changed. The old incandescent kind glowed warm and orange, close to firelight, simply because that is how a hot, glowing wire shines. Many modern LED bulbs reach white by a different route, and even ones that look warm can carry a cooler, bluer edge tucked inside their light. That's wonderful for seeing clearly and saving power. It only means the gentle amber your grandparents wound down beneath is not always what fills a bedroom today. The light can look the same to you, while telling your inner clock a slightly more wakeful story. Not all of a bedroom's light is born inside it. Look at what seeps in from the street. For a long time, outdoor lamps glowed a soft amber. The old sodium lights that washed roads in orange. Many cities have since switched to white LED streetlights, which are brighter, cheaper, and noticeably bluer. That cool glow can leak around the edges of curtains and pool faintly on the ceiling. You didn't choose it, and you can't switch it off. Yet the same clock-reading cells still read it, quietly folding the color of your whole neighborhood into their guess about what time your body thinks it is. Here is the part most people don't expect. Your eyes keep reading light even after you close them. Eyelids are thin. Hold your hand toward a lamp with your eyes shut, and you'll still sense the brightness glowing through that reddish veil. Enough light passes through a closed lid for the clock-reading cells to keep working, softly noting whether the room around you is bright or dark. So drifting off in a lit room isn't quite the same as resting in darkness. Some patient part of you is still reading the light through your eyelids, still deciding, gently, whether this really feels like night. Even the smallest lights get counted. A television standby dot, a charger's little glow, the router blinking in the corner. Each is a pinprick of light, often blue or green, in an otherwise dark room. On their own, they seem far too tiny to matter. But darkness has almost nothing to set them against, so their contrast stands out. The way a single lit window shows clearly across a black field at night. Your clock-reading cells don't startle at these specks. They simply note them, adding each faint point of light into the quiet, running total of how dark this room truly is. There is something particular about a light that blinks. A charger's slow pulse, a notification breathing on and off. The brain leans toward change far more than toward anything steady. A lamp that simply stays on can fade into the background. A light that flickers keeps gently tugging at your attention, even behind closed eyes. This isn't a flaw in you. It's the same old alertness that once helped a sleeper notice a flickering fire or a shifting shadow. Tonight it only means the small pulsing glow on the desk is quietly, kindly, keeping one thread of you awake, watching the change, making sure nothing needs you. Notice that the same light can mean two different things, depending only on the hour. A bright, blue-white glow at 9 in the morning is simply the world waking up. The very same glow near midnight is a signal badly out of place. Your brain isn't grading the room on how bright it happens to be. It's checking the light against an inner sense of what time it should be. So the question quietly changes here. Your brain was never really asking how strong the light is. It was asking what hour the light claims it to be. And a cool glow in the deep of night answers with the wrong time. Long before switches and bulbs, the light of evening had one reliable shape. It grew low, and it grew warm. The sun sank red. The fire burned down to amber, and the sky drained slowly toward dark. That warm, dim, red-shifted glow became the body's oldest sign that the day was closing and rest was near. Your brain still softens at it. A lamp turned low and warm in the last hour before bed isn't only gentler to look at. It's speaking the ancient language of sunset. It tells the clock-reading part of you, in a tongue older than words, that it is finally safe to let go. So gather what the light has been telling us. Your bedroom's glow is a kind of quiet sentence, read by a part of you that keeps time before you've even noticed. Its color says morning or evening. Its lowness says how near the dark is. Its steadiness or flicker says whether anything still needs watching. A room lit cool and bright softly argues that the day goes on. A room lit low and warm agrees, just as softly, that it's over. None of this asks any effort from you. your eyes have already read the room and passed the message inward. Long before you thought to wonder what was keeping you awake, something in the room has quieted along with you. The lamp turned lower, the screen gone dark, the colors in the air warming toward dusk. You don't have to do anything about the light now. Your eyes have already read it and passed the word along. Let one slow breath leave you, unhurried. We'll keep drifting through what the dark is quietly made of, softly, together. Your eyes have lids, but your ears never close. All through the night, a small relay station deep in your brain, called the thalamus, keeps passing sounds along to be checked. Think of it like a night guard at the front desk of a quiet building. Most footsteps in the lobby get waved through without waking anyone upstairs. Yet the desk is always staffed. Even in your deepest sleep, some part of you is still listening, sorting the harmless hum of the room from anything that might matter. This soft, steady listening is not a flaw in sleep. It is one of the oldest ways your body has kept you safe. Here is something researchers can actually watch on a brain scan. Play a quiet sound to a sleeping person, and the hearing part of their brain still lights up, even when they do not wake. On sleep recordings, a single tone can trigger a little burst of activity called a K complex, a quick ripple that seems to say, "Checked. All clear." It works a bit like a phone on silent that still glows when a message arrives. The sound was received and quietly filed away. Your sleeping mind reads the room all night long, deciding again and again that nothing here needs your attention right now. Loudness is not really what wakes you. Change is. A steady fan, a humming fridge, the low rush of a highway far off. These can all melt into the background within minutes, no matter how loud. What snaps you awake is a sudden shift, a single creak on the stairs, a door clicking shut. Picture a home beside train tracks. After a while, the trains pass unnoticed. Yet one unexpected knock at the door lifts your head at once. Your brain has learned to ignore the steady and flag the new. Constant sound becomes part of the room, while a break in the pattern becomes a question. So the thing your brain listens for is not silence. It is steadiness. A quiet room with one unpredictable drip can feel less safe to your sleeping mind than a louder room where every sound is even and expected. This quietly turns the whole night on its head. You have been asking how to make the bedroom quieter, when the deeper question your body keeps asking is whether the room is steady. And steadiness, to the part of you keeping watch, is simply another word for safe. Sleep does not arrive because the room went silent. It arrives once the room stops springing surprises. This is why a soft, steady background sound helps so many people drift off. When even noise fills the air, it smooths over the small gaps where a sudden creak or car door would otherwise poke through. The technical name for this is masking. Imagine a calm layer of sound laid over the room like a light blanket. A single sharp noise no longer stands alone against pure silence. It blends in, softened at the edges, and loses the surprise that would have caught your attention. For a brain that wakes at surprises, fewer surprises get through, and the room finally sounds as even as it needs to. Not all steady sound feels the same, though. The even hiss people call white noise holds every pitch at once, a little like the static between radio stations. Softer versions lean toward the lower, rounder tones of steady rain or a distant waterfall, sometimes called pink noise. Many sleepers find these deeper, gentler sounds easier to rest beside, and some studies hint they may support the slow, calm brainwaves of deep sleep. The exact reason is still being explored. What seems to matter most is the same simple thing your night guard is hoping for: a smooth, unbroken wash of sound with no sharp edges to catch on. Yet your brain does not treat every sound as equal. Some carry meaning, and meaning cuts straight through sleep. The clearest example is your own name. In experiments, a sleeping person's brain reacts more strongly to their name than to any other word spoken at the very same soft volume. It works a bit like scanning 100 faces in a crowd, then instantly spotting the one you know. The sound itself is no louder, but it matters more, so it is handed upward for a closer look. Deep in sleep, you are still gently sorting the world into what can wait and what is about you. Parents know this sorting better than anyone. A mother may sleep soundly through rumbling traffic, a barking dog, even a thunderstorm, then wake at the first faint whimper from her baby down the hall. The cry is far quieter than the storm, but her brain has tagged it as a sound that has to be answered. Volume lost. Meaning 1. It shows that the night listener inside you is not simply measuring how loud things are. It is asking something older and kinder. Does this sound belong to someone I need to protect? Some sounds are small, and still they reach all the way in. This helps explain the snoring beside you. A partner's snore keeps you awake not only because of its sound, but because it is uneven and it belongs to someone. It rises, catches, pause, then starts again. Exactly the shifting pattern your brain is built to notice. Their steady, soft breathing rarely disturbs you, because steady reads as safe. The gentler news is that the sleeping brain can slowly learn. Over weeks and months, many people come to treat a familiar snore as background, the way you stop hearing a clock you have owned for years. What once pulled you awake can quietly fade into the room. Notice what all of this is really saying. The part of you that listens through the night is not working against your sleep. It is standing guard so the rest of you can safely let go. That is why lying in a room full of small, unpredictable sounds can leave you wired and tired at the same time. One layer of you longs to fall, while another keeps scanning, unwilling to hand over control until it feels the room is safe. You are not failing at sleep on those nights. You are only waiting for the guard to lower its shoulders. Give it steadiness, and it will let you down gently. What you just heard, that the part of you listening in the dark is a guard, not an enemy. is not only a fact about sleep. You may be feeling it in your own body right now. Somewhere under your ribs. A small watchfulness that has not quite set itself down. That watchfulness is not a mistake. It has carried people safely through far longer nights than this one. You do not have to argue it away. You only have to let the room grow steady enough that it feels safe to loosen its hold. So listen, just for this moment, to whatever sound is already here. The hum of the room. Your own slow breath, moving in and moving out. Let it be even. Let it be unremarkable. Nothing in this sound is asking anything of you. And notice that your breath keeps moving on its own, the way it always has, whether or not you are watching it. There is more the room is quietly doing for you, beyond anything the ear can catch. We will drift toward that next. Sound was something your ears could catch. Air is different. You breathe it without ever seeing it. Yet the air in your bedroom carries a quiet message too. Its freshness, its weight, its temperature, its smell. Your body reads all of it while you rest. Think of air as the room's fourth signal, the one hardest to notice. You cannot point to it the way you point to a lamp, but your lungs and your skin are always sampling it, checking whether this small space feels safe enough to let you drift down into sleep. A closed bedroom is really a small, sealed box of air. It might feel endless in the dark, but the room holds only so much. Picture the air as a bathtub that slowly fills through the night. Every breath you take changes it a little, using up some freshness and adding something back. During the day, doors open and the air trades places constantly. At night, with everything shut, the trade slows down. The same air lingers around you for hours, quietly shifting in ways you rarely notice, but your body still tracks. With each breath out, you release carbon dioxide into the room. In a sealed bedroom, that invisible gas slowly builds up over the night. You cannot see it or smell it, so it hides in plain sight. Researchers have found that sleep quality tends to slip when carbon dioxide climbs in a closed room. Many use a level below 1,000 parts per million as a gentle reference point for fresh indoor air. The exact numbers matter less than the direction. When the air grows heavy with what you have already breathed, deep sleep becomes a little harder to reach. There is a reason your body pays attention to stale air. For most of human history, fresh moving air meant open, safe surroundings. Thick, still, stuffy air often meant a crowded or closed-in place. So a part of your brain learned to treat air quality as a clue about safety. This is not your body working against you. It is an old caretaker, checking that the space around you can support easy breathing. When the air feels clean and light, that ancient watchman relaxes, and sleep is allowed to come a little more freely. You have probably walked into a room and felt it was stuffy without knowing why. That heavy, close feeling is your body noticing the air has gone stale. Nothing is visibly wrong. The lights look normal and the room is quiet. Yet something feels used up, like a glass of water left out overnight. That sensation is information, not imagination. Your senses are picking up subtle shifts in freshness, warmth, and moisture all at once. In a bedroom, that same stuffy feeling can keep you hovering near the surface of sleep instead of sinking beneath it. Fresh air enters a room through small openings and gentle currents. A cracked door, a gap beneath it, a window left ajar. Each one lets old air leave and new air arrive. This slow trade is called ventilation, and it works quietly in the background. Think of it like a stream moving through a pond, keeping the water from going stagnant. A tightly sealed room has almost no stream at all. Over a long night, that stillness lets the air grow close and heavy. Even a thin opening can keep the air turning over just enough to feel lighter. Air also carries water, though you cannot see it floating there. In winter, heaters warm a room but dry the air out at the same time. That dry air pulls moisture from your nose, throat, and lips as you sleep. You might wake with a scratchy throat or a stuffy nose without a cold to blame. It is a bit like how a slice of bread left out slowly goes stale and hard. A room that is too dry can make breathing feel rougher through the night, nudging you awake in small ways you barely remember by morning. Air can also hold too much water. In a damp room, the moisture has nowhere to go, and everything feels a little heavy and clammy. Your body sheds heat partly by letting sweat evaporate, and humid air slows that down. It is like trying to dry a towel in a steamy bathroom. It simply stays wet. Most people rest best when indoor moisture sits in a middle band, neither desert dry nor tropical damp. Somewhere around 40 to 60% tends to feel comfortable. In that gentle range, your breathing stays easy and your skin can cool without effort. The air in your room carries temperature as well as moisture. Earlier, we followed how your body has to shed a little heat to fall asleep. The surrounding air is what quietly carries that warmth away. When the room sits slightly cool, around 18 or 19 degrees Celsius, the air accepts your heat easily. That is close to the temperature of a mild spring evening. Warm. Still, air has no room to take your heat, so it lingers against your skin. A gently cool room is not about being cold. It is about giving your body somewhere to release the day's warmth. Notice how a slightly cool room can feel oddly reassuring. Deep in our history, cool, sheltered spaces, caves, shaded hollows, offered safety from the midday heat. A cool pocket of air signaled a good place to rest. That memory still lives in your nervous system. When the night air around you turns mild and easy to breathe, your body reads it as a settled, protected place. Warm, thick air can leave you restless and kicking off the blanket. Cool, fresh air invites you to curl in and stay. The room's temperature is quietly voting on whether it is safe to sleep. Floating in every room are particles far too small to see. Fine dust drifts in from outside, from cooking, from candles, from the everyday shedding of the world. The tiniest of these are called fine particles, and some are many times smaller than the width of a single hair. During the day, you rarely notice them. At night, in a closed room, they can gather in the still air near your bed. Your nose filters out the larger bits, like a screen door catching leaves. But the smallest particles slip through, quietly adding to how heavy the air can feel. Your airways have gentle defenses working through the night. Tiny hairs and a thin layer of mucus line your nose and throat, trapping dust like flypaper, catching specks. Most of what you breathe never reaches deep into your lungs. Still, the finest particles are small enough to travel farther than the rest. When the air holds many of them, your body works a little harder to keep each breath clean and smooth. You will not feel this as an alarm. It shows up as air that seems less fresh, and sleep that stays a touch lighter than it could be. There is a quiet difference between still air and moving air. Perfectly still air can start to feel stale, even when nothing about it has truly changed. A soft current, on the other hand, feels alive and fresh. It is the same reason a gentle breeze on a warm day feels so pleasant. In a bedroom, a slow drift of air helps carry away warmth, moisture, and the carbon dioxide you breathe out. You do not need a strong wind. A barely noticeable movement is enough. That faint sense of freshness tells your body the space is open, not sealed and heavy. Smell is a strange sense once you are asleep. Your other senses stay partly on guard, but your sense of smell grows unusually quiet. A sound might stir you, yet a scent alone often will not. Your nose keeps working, warming and sampling the air, but the alarm it sends to a sleeping brain is dialed low. This is why a pleasant, familiar smell in the bedroom can feel soothing as you drift off. The air's scent becomes part of the room's message, clean and calm, or close and stale, even after you stop noticing it on purpose. Step back for a moment and something quietly shifts. We began by asking what the room whispers that keeps you awake. Now the answer looks less like one thing and more like a chorus. The coolness of the air, its moisture, its stillness, its scent. Each is a small voice, and the air gathers them together. You are not being kept awake by a single flaw you failed to fix. You are reading a message made of many soft signals at once. The question is no longer what is wrong, but what the whole room is quietly telling you. Some people keep a plant beside the bed, hoping it will freshen the air. A single plant does only a little to clean a whole room, far less than opening a window would. But it can still earn its place. Caring for something green is a small, calming ritual as the day winds down. A leaf catches a bit of dust, and a living thing in the room can feel quietly companionable. The gentle honesty here is simple. Plants are a soft comfort more than a powerful air machine, and comfort itself helps prepare you for rest. A window opened, just a crack, can change a room over hours. You will not feel a rush of wind. Instead, old and new air trade places slowly, like 2 cups of water gently mixing. Through the night, the carbon dioxide you breathe out drifts away, and cooler, fresher air seeps in. Even a small gap makes a real difference by morning. The room simply feels lighter and easier to breathe. This is one of the oldest, simplest ways to keep a sleeping space fresh. No devices, no settings, only a thin opening, letting the night quietly do its work. Newer things in a room can release faint, invisible vapor. Fresh paint, new furniture, a just unwrapped mattress. Each can give off a subtle chemical smell for a while. These vapors are called volatile compounds, and that new scent is them drifting into the air. In an open space, they scatter quickly and harmlessly. In a sealed bedroom, they can linger a bit longer. There is no need for worry here. A little ventilation clears them out, the way airing a closet chases off a musty smell. Fresh air simply helps the room return to a clean, neutral, calm. Before air ever reaches your lungs, your nose has already prepared it. As you breathe in, the narrow passages warm the air and add moisture to it. By the time each breath arrives deep inside, it is close to your body's own warmth and softness. This is why breathing through your nose at night can feel gentler than through your mouth. It is a bit like water passing through a filter before you drink it. When the room's air is fresh and lightly moist, your nose has an easier task, and each slow breath can settle you deeper into rest. Stale air rarely wakes you with a jolt. Instead, it works in small, quiet ways. As the air grows heavy through the night, your sleep may lighten without ever fully breaking. You might shift, sigh, or surface for a heartbeat, then sink again. By morning, you remember none of it, yet you feel oddly unrested. It is like sleeping beside a faint noise you never consciously heard. The air was gently tugging you upward all night. This is why a fresh room can leave you feeling deeply rested, even when the hours of sleep were exactly the same. Think of how a breath of outdoor air can feel like relief. Stepping outside, opening a window, standing near a breeze. Something in you eases almost at once. That relief is not only in your mind. Fresh, moving air tells your body it is in an open, unthreatened space. The old watchman that scans for safety quietly stands down. Your bedroom can offer a smaller version of that same relief. When the air inside feels clean and lightly moving, part of you registers open sky, even in a closed room. And openness to your resting body means it is safe to let go. By now, a quiet pattern has been forming across the night. Your body has been reading warmth, light, sound, and now air. Air is the last of the four, and the easiest to overlook. Each one is a sensor, and each is asking the same simple question. Is this a safe place to lower my guard? None of them speaks louder than the others. They work together, like four instruments playing one soft chord. When the air joins the other three in saying, "All is well," the room's message becomes whole. And a whole message is far easier to trust. The gentle truth about air is how forgiving it is. You do not need special equipment to change it. Cracking a window lets the night refresh the room. Nudging the thermostat down a single degree helps the air carry your heat away. A bowl of water near a heater softens air that has gone too dry. Each change is small, quiet, and easily undone. There is nothing to master and nothing to get perfectly right. You are simply offering your body a few more signs that the space is safe. Little by little, the air becomes an invitation instead of an obstacle. It helps to remember what your body is actually doing. It is not refusing sleep to trouble you. It is watching over you, the way it always has. When it senses stale, heavy, stagnant air, it keeps you a little alert, just in case. That caution kept our ancestors safe in closed, crowded places. Tonight, it is simply a caretaker who has not yet been told the room is fine. When you freshen the air, you are answering that caretaker gently. You are letting it know the space is open and safe, so it can finally rest along with you. Here is what the whole night has been quietly showing. You do not order sleep to arrive. You earn it by giving your body the signals that it is safe to let go. A warm, sealed, stuffy room withholds those signals. Unbe, but a cool, fresh, gently moving room offers them freely. Air was the fourth and final sensor, joining warmth, light, and sound. Together they carry a single message your resting brain has been waiting for. When the room says you are safe here, permission is granted. Sleep was never a command. It was always a quiet yes. Right now, the air around you is already trading itself out, slow and unhurried. The cooler air is drawing off the day's warmth without asking anything of you. Your nose is softening each breath before it ever reaches your chest. None of it needs your effort. It was working long before you noticed it. That heaviness of lying here wired and tired, you do not have to solve it tonight. The room is quietly saying what your body has been waiting to hear. It is safe to let go. You can stop trying to earn this rest. It is already being offered. Let the next breath leave a little slower. The last part of the night is close now, and there is nothing left to do but arrive. By now, a quiet pattern has come into view. Temperature, light, sound, and air were never four separate switches to flip. Your brain folds them into a single question it keeps asking all night long. Is it safe to let go here? Each reading is one voice in that answer. When every voice agrees, sleep arrives on its own. When even one disagrees, the whole system waits, patient and unhurried, listening for the voice that hasn't quite settled yet. Here is something gentle to know. Even in deep sleep, a small part of your brain stays on watch, sampling the room. This isn't a flaw or a fault. It's an old kindness, a caretaker that never fully clocks out. For thousands of years, that quiet sentry kept sleeping bodies safe through the dark. Tonight, it is doing the same for you, asking only to be reassured that all is well. Think of the room as a house with several doors. Your brain will not settle until each one is checked. A single door left open, a screen still glowing, air gone stale, a blanket too warm, can hold the whole system awake. Not out of stubbornness, but out of care. The body would rather keep watch a little longer than rest somewhere one small thing still feels unfinished. This is why a room can look perfectly fine and still keep you awake. Your eyes see tidy shelves and a made bed. But your body reads the things eyes cannot catch. The warmth that hasn't left, the air growing close, the faint light behind the curtain. The mismatch is the whole mystery. What looks calm to you may still feel unsettled to the older senses keeping watch beneath. Small things carry more weight here than they seem to. 1 degree cooler. One light switched off. A window cracked a finger's width. None of these feel like much, and none are meant to be. The body doesn't need a grand gesture to feel safe. It needs a few honest signals, quietly given. A room becomes restful not through effort, but through small kindnesses that add up while you stop noticing them. There seems to be an order to how the body settles. First, it wants to feel the warmth leaving its skin. Then it wants the light to fade. Then, the room to grow quiet. Then the air to stay fresh. One reading at a time. The guard lowers its shoulders. You don't have to manage the sequence. The body knows the order by heart and follows it the moment the room allows. Maybe you know the feeling of being tired and wired at once. The mind is heavy, ready to fall, yet the body stays alert, humming like a light left on. This is what it looks like when the safety readings haven't all come in. The tiredness is real. The alertness is real too. They aren't fighting you. They're waiting together for the last signal that says the night is safe. That leg you slide out from under the blanket has a quiet purpose. The body is cooling itself, letting heat escape from the skin to lower its core. You didn't plan it. Some older part of you reached for the cool air on its own. It's a small act of self-care, done in the dark without a thought. Even half asleep, the body keeps working gently toward the temperature it needs. Long before beds and bedrooms, sleeping meant finding a safe place. A sheltered ledge, a warm hollow, a spot where the air moved and nothing could surprise you. Your brain still reads a room the same ancient way. When it finds warmth, leaving, soft, dark, and quiet air, it recognizes the old shape of safety. A good bedroom is simply a nest your body already knows how to trust. Sleep can't be ordered to come. You can't reach out and switch it on the way you turn off a lamp. it arrives only as permission. Granted, when the body feels the room is safe enough to loosen its hold. This is why trying harder rarely helps. The effort itself is a kind of alertness. Sleep waits for the moment you stop reaching, and the room quietly says you can. There is comfort in sameness. When you sleep in the same room, cooled the same way, dimmed to the same soft dark each night, your brain learns to trust it faster. The safety readings become familiar, almost expected. A steady room is a promise the body can lean on. Over time, walking into it becomes its own small signal, a place that has kept you safe before, ready to again. When sleep won't come, it can feel like your body has turned against you. It hasn't. The wakefulness is loyalty, not betrayal. Your brain would rather hold you gently awake than let you drift off somewhere it isn't sure is safe. Seen this way, a restless night is care wearing a difficult face. The same watchfulness that keeps you up is the one that has always been protecting you. Safety is often built from the smallest things. The familiar weight of a blanket, a scent the room always carries, the particular quiet of your own space. Each one whispers the same word to the guard inside. Known, known, known. And, with every familiar signal, the watch softens a little more. You don't have to convince your body to feel safe. You only have to let the small, known things speak. A good room does part of the work for you. It lets your warmth slip away, so you don't have to. It holds the dark, keeps the quiet, moves the air. Bit by bit, it lowers the readings your body was straining to lower alone. That's the gift of a restful space. It carries some of the weight, so the only thing left for you to do is arrive and soften. Somewhere along the way, the question has quietly changed. It started as "Why won't my room let me sleep?" Now it sounds more like, "What is my body still waiting to feel before it trusts the night?" The room was never the enemy. It was only ever a messenger, carrying signals your body reads as safe or not yet. And the answer, it turns out, was never about forcing sleep, but about being told, gently, that it's safe to go. When the 4 readings finally agree, something opens. The warmth has gone. The light has faded. The room is quiet. The air stays fresh. The guard reads them all and finds nothing left to hold. That is the moment permission is granted. Sleep doesn't push its way in. It simply steps through a gate that safety has quietly left unlocked. You don't have to fix everything tonight. One change is enough to begin. Cool the room a touch. Turn off one more light. Open the window a crack. Choose a single signal and give it clearly. The body notices even one honest gesture toward safety, and it answers by loosening, just a little, the grip it has long been holding. Trust is built slowly, and the body forgives. However many restless nights came before, None of them are held against you now. Each night is a fresh chance for the room to say, safe, and for the guard to believe it. You are not starting from a deficit. You are simply beginning again, in a space learning to feel like home. Rest is a kind of surrender. Not giving up, but giving over. Handing the watch to a room you have made safe. When you trust the space to hold the night, you no longer have to hold it yourself. That is the quiet exchange sleep asks for. You let go of guarding, and the room takes up the watch in your place. Feel, if you can, the guard beginning to lower. The shoulders you didn't know were raised. The listening you didn't know you were doing. There is nothing here that needs defending tonight. The room has been checked, and it is safe. You can stop bracing now. Whatever you were holding, ready, you are gently allowed to set it all down. And let the room keep watch for a while now. It knows the warmth has left. It knows the dark is soft. It knows the air is fresh and the night stays quiet. You don't have to check any of it. The reading is done. The answer is safe. And the only thing left is to quietly rest inside it. Even now, some readings have already gone still. Your skin has cooled a little. Your breath has slowed. The light is low. The air is easy. Without any effort from you, the night has been settling itself around your body. Much of the work is already done. You only have to let the last of it finish on its own. You were never broken. Nothing in you needed fixing to earn this rest. The room simply hadn't finished telling your body it was safe. Now it has. All the small signals have spoken, and the guard has heard them. What kept you awake was never a flaw. It was only a message still waiting to arrive. And tonight, it has. In the end, it all becomes one word. The warmth leaving, the light gone, the quiet air, the still room. Your body gathers them into a single feeling. Safe, that is what the whole night was reaching toward. Not colder or darker for its own sake, but safe. And safe is the one word that lets everything else let go. You came to bed tonight tired in a way you couldn't quite name. You don't have to name it now. You don't have to earn this rest, or try your way into it. The room has said the only thing that matters. It's safe here. So let the last of the day slip from your shoulders and let yourself go. 100 facts ago, the room was just a room. 4 walls that should have been enough. Now it's a set of quiet signals your body has been reading all along. We followed the warmth leaving the skin so the core could cool, and saw how a warm, sealed room holds that heat in. We listened with the part of the brain that never stops tracking sound, and felt the air grow close in a room shut tight. What began as a question about a room became an answer about safety. You can't command sleep. You can only offer your body the signals of safety and let it decide. Tonight, you gave a few, and the room, at last, gave its answer back. Perhaps this quiet hour helped your body find its way towards safe. A gentle like, subscribe, or share carries this same stillness to someone else, lying awake in a room that looks fine but won't let them rest. One quiet tap, one sleepy soul at a time. Right now, the warmth is still leaving your skin, drifting off into the cool of the room without any help from you. The dark has already done its part. The air moves quietly through, keeping everything fresh while you rest. Let your whole body dissolve into that quiet exchange. The room reading safe, over and over, and your body finally believing it. There was never anything to earn, only a room to trust, and a night that was always ready to hold you. You can let the last thoughts of the day settle now, like warmth slipping quietly from the skin, leaving you lighter than before. Let your body grow heavy, sinking into a room that has already been made safe. If sleep comes, let it carry you the rest of the way. You no longer have to earn it. The Sleepy Science playlist has spent many quiet hours in rooms like this one, listening for what the body needs to feel safe. The next hour follows the part of the question this one didn't have time to finish. That hour is waiting whenever you are ready. But if your eyes are closed, stay there. Rest well, weary one. The room has already said the only thing that matters, where science becomes the softest place to rest. Good night.